The hardest thing about telling the story of the corruption and business deals behind Britney Spears' conservatorship is where to start and how to suck people into the narrative, because there's a million ways to tell the story. On January 15th, 2015, Mariah Carey announced her Vegas residency at Caesars on The Ellen Show. You might remember that Ellen is the one that streamed Britney's announcement of her nomination Vegas residency in 2018, which just ended up being the most iconic work strike of all time. You know what else happened? January 15th, 2015, a subsidiary of Caesars declared bankruptcy. This part of Caesars was the one responsible for Britney's Vegas residency and all the shenanigans that entailed. This is my first big connection map about what happened and who profited the most from the conservatorship. And you can see that the Vegas residency is the heart of it. It made everything change. Britney's Vegas residency was at Planet Hollywood, which Caesars had bought in 2010. A few months before her residency debuted, Caesars sold Planet Hollywood basically to itself, which was the separate Caesars growth-oriented venture. You will not find a lot of details about this bankruptcy and all the shenanigans that went on around it. This report is from the examiner that was appointed in the bankruptcy court to see what actually happened. They did a 4-part series of the most egregious things that occurred, and one entire part is about Britney Spears at Planet Hollywood. If you're like me and have no experience in massive capital investment and corporate finance and shenanigans, then you might have to read this very slowly, but I encourage you to read the entire thing. Basically, Caesars sold the Planet Hollywood asset to itself, which was the growth partnership, but they sold it to themselves for less money than they should have charged themselves. So they were insolvent as the big Caesars, and then they sold this at a loss. Why? Who knows? I can't tell, but I think that is the core of the financial shenanigans. What Caesars was doing was so shady. The examiner concluded that the value of claims related to fraudulent transfers, breaches of fiduciary duty, aiding and abetting breaches of Caesars management and its sponsors, and other actions ranged between $3.6 billion to $5.1 billion. That's a lot of money. And who is at the heart of that? When they calculated how much they'd sell Planet Hollywood to the growth partners, they grossly undervalued the property and how much the investment of renovating the theater, etc., would add to its value, as well as how much more income would be generated by Britney being in Vegas. The growth transaction was Planet Hollywood and like one other property in the beginning. And I'm not a finance person, but when I see that the potential claims for fraud and undervaluation of this asset total from $437 million to $593 million, I start asking questions of what really happened here. And I don't know. And there's hardly any information or analysis that is done beyond a few things I found online. As it pertains to all of this, my expertise is on the timeline and the business relationships. This whole deal was worth billions of dollars, and I've met so much resistance in the movement. You have to wonder, who's really running it? I have no long-standing allies with any of the big Free Britney accounts, but I feel like there's so many new big accounts on TikTok that might not know a lot of this history. I really joined the movement early 2021, and I had no idea all these politics behind the scenes in the movement, and at first I was like, what is going on? This is not a real social justice movement, right? Lawyers for Britney posted this, and They posted it basically to show that Britney's signature was not on the contract, and then if it wasn't, if she got out of the conservatorship, the contract would be voided. They basically seem to argue that she wouldn't want to get out of the conservatorship because it would nullify her contract. Like, she wants a contract. The conservatorship was never recognized in Nevada. I don't know what to think about why they have that rationale, but I do know that Britney's gram was really mad at them for posting this because they said they got hacked or they wanted the exclusive to post the contract. There's strange things all over the Free Britney movement before it made it into the national spotlight. So while Lawyers for Britney got a lot of flack for the contract stuff, and they were basically exiled from the major players in the movement, then you have Jordan Miller of Breathe Heavy step in and describe what happens, and his rationale sounds understandable to me. At the end of the day, everyone lost sight of the contract. And that's really the key, right? Who made that news actually become secondary to infighting and name-calling? This piece of the story could be its own docu-series, but for expediency's sake, let's just talk about Jeff Azoff and Kurt Millian, who are on the contract. Britney only signed with Jeff Azoff at the beginning of the year 2013, and that is right when she broke up with her fiancé and co-conservator Jason Treywick. Immediately, we get Vegas residency rumors. Days before Jeff signs Britney, his dad resigns as the CEO of Live Nation Ticketmaster. He sold 1.7 million shares of Live Nation to Liberty Media, who now does F1, which is in Vegas. Rich people have generational plans, not our piddlywink 5-year plans, y'all. Irving has his hands all over everything in the music industry, and in 2009, Courtney Love accused him of leveraging the Cobain estate to buy Ticketmaster, which he got in 2008. Then in 2020, we have Kanye alleged that Irving controls Britney, and then the news article searches are flooded with, does Kanye need a conservatorship like Britney? Why would Kanye just magically say that, right? Artist contracts are the heart of what we need to know about what's really going on in the music industry as far as exploiting artists. And I don't want this news to die because I really think that Homeland Security is after Live Nation Ticketmaster. And a lot will be revealed about what happened to Britney when we get to see the full Caesars and Live Nation contracts.